What's a dead giveaway that someone is not a good person? Never taking accountability for anything. This is actually a pretty good indicator of a person with some kind of personality disorder like narcissistic. The clue you are looking for is that nothing is ever their fault. Unless it's really good, then of course it was all them. Always talking about other people when they aren't around. When telling you about issues in their life and everything is everyone else's fault, no accountability. If all their exes are crazy, they're crazy. I guess a subtle one is them treating you differently in public versus how they treat you privately. These can both go either way. People who are always trying to manipulate a situation from the smallest things to the bigger issues. It is exhausting to be around them. How someone treats another person based on their job title. Anyone who treats a server, maid, garbage person, etc. like, is just telling the world how much a piece they are. Treating people well only if they can benefit from them in some way. If they treat you well, but treat random people like, they aren't good people. And they'll treat you like, too if you ever stop being of use to them. A complete lack of compassion, unless it's about themselves. Putting people down for fun. Never accepting responsibility for behavior. Everything is always about them. Everything. Even if you're going through something difficult, suddenly they've been through the same thing, but worse. Even when they're being generous, it's for public display and not from a genuine place. Sulking and throwing fits to get their way. Yes, I am thinking of a specific person. When you express a boundary, they try to guilt trip you, pressure you, or threaten you to try and force you to do things you don't want to do. If they brag about how they pulled a fast one on other people. As if to say how smart, slick they are and everyone else is stupid. A former friend was a habitual liar. I thought he had a mental disorder or something because of it. Or he thought he needed to impress me with his lies so we could be friends. Then one day he told me he's such a good liar and he's gotten so many things in life because he lies. He instantly got cut off. No contact for a year until I saw him recently at a mutual party. And still barely gave him the time of day. He was always using me. Good riddance. They never apologize. They remember you are their friend only when they need something from you. It's always about them. They're always the hero or always the victim in their stories. Can't take criticism but probably dish it out to everyone else. They're never wrong. Nothing is ever their fault. Pulls the victim card every time. Everyone else is toxic but then. If they are willing to gaslight you. I have memory problems due to MS, and when someone is willing to bend your reality there is a huge moral issue happening. They constantly say or do things where their only justification for doing so is it was just a joke when called out on it. When they cannot bring themselves to celebrate someone else's success. Someone who yells at you for crying. A lot of times they'll straight up tell you. Anybody who gleefully tells you I'm such an, or I'm such a, is usually not joking, even if they say it while laughing. Who else is just scrolling through answers to either find out if you're a bad person, or looking for an excuse to call yourself a bad person? Edit. I see we're all avid self-deprecation practitioners. They mistreat their animals, pets. There is this one saying, you can tell a person's character by how they treat those who can't do anything for them. Throwing trash out of a car window, littering. Treats animals poorly. A former coworker of mine showed themselves to be completely psychotic on her first day. The entire day everything seemed normal. Then right at the end of the day she came into my office laughing hysterically because she had to show me a video. It was a video of a guy committing suicide by jumping off a water tower. She said he bounced real good with the most maniacal grin on her face. She didn't last long. They talk horribly about others. Everyone gossips, but when you're talking about someone's weight, depression, family issues etc. in a nasty way, you're not a good person. They treat people like waitstaff, cashiers, and other service workers like. When they say something ominous and there's a lightning strike. When they are always the victim. I put my guard up because I've known too many who rewrite their reality and deny their accountability. They steal from you. Actions and words not matching. They take a dump in your car. When a person needs to explain to you in a conversation that they are actually a good person. Bragging about all the good they do. People concerned with appearing as a saint is anything but. So this should be obvious but it's not. As a guy, don't trust another guy if he cheats on his spouse. If hell betray the closest person to him, he doesn't care about his friends either, trust me. They cannot take criticism and think that they can do no wrong. If someone thinks that the whole world is against them without ever considering their own actions, then there is a problem. I'm not very good at taking criticism. It's not because I think I can do no wrong. It's actually quite the opposite. I think I mostly suck and I hate when others validate my own insecurities. They're always asking for favors and never returning them. Thinking that you always do stuff just to them off. When I was little, 7 to 8 years, and was in school, I trip on the floor because it was wet, and didn't put the wet floor sign. And I fall in a way that my frontal teeth took the damage, and they were destroyed. My mum to this day still believes I did it on purpose, juicy, to make her angry. Thinking that they cannot do wrong. When I was 6, I had a slide up to 2 meters tall. On my birthday, a friend of mine pushed me from the top of the slide, and I fell on my back. I remember I coughed blood and a neighbor took me to the bathroom and cleaned me up. What my parents did, they were entertaining the guests and they just put me in their bedroom. They didn't even took me to the doctor to see if anything was wrong at all. They always need to be vocal about their opinion even if it's not nice. My parents are always saying nasty stuff to people. Like if we go to a restaurant and the waiter is slow, they will say something like, what an awful service, or couldn't they get anyone slower, or like that, and they don't even care if they are being heard or not. It's just an embarrassment to go with them outside. I missed the point along the way and just wanted to, about my parents, so sorry about that. They constantly state that they're a good person and constantly brag about it. I get maybe talking about something kind you did for someone, but if you're constantly trying to prove to everyone that you're a good person, you're probably not. Abusive to service workers. Lying over stupid. Thinking that their own convenience is more important than others' inconvenience. The way they talk to lower earners in society, such as the cleaner at work. How they talk about their significant other, spouse, partner, whatever. If you talk about the person you supposedly love, you are a giant mountain of garbage. Dropping litter. Just being dickhead's mate. They wrap themselves in virtue, constantly signaling to how they're so morally good, while doing not a thing for others. Really doing good requires sacrifice, not words. If they do this on religious or political grounds, then they're scum and I can't help but roll my eyes at them. I can spot people usually like many examples given. I met many in my life, but a truly bad, malignant person only once, and it took getting PTSD and therapy to survive them. They don't show anyone thing, and by the time you see it, you're lucky to have survived and a victim. I wish truly bad people with no empathy, sympathy or any real emotions had an mo, but they are very good at using people. I feel sorry for anyone who loves these people. Not refilling the Brita after taking the last bit of water. They are condescending and make put-downs and don't have good manners. Don't mind me. I am just here to find out if I am a bad person. I think overall the biggest tell for me is people who make lots of small lies or false statements. They can be bragging, or just obscuring truth enough to make something sound better, or any number of things tbh. And these aren't white lies, these are just reality-denying things. Comments or statements that if you catch them are usually too small to be worth confronting. But there's a reason they will lie like that. They will escalate if you let them.